This is the case both at the UCI and at the anti-doping organizations interviewed by the committee. Statements made by riders have revealed that in certain instances, making a phone call to the UCI is sufficient to have a written warning cancelled, while at other times it is not, despite the fact that the argument presented are the same. Two different riders both argue that they are not at the location specified because they travelled to a different, verifiable location a day early. In the case of Rasmussen, this defence, according to the declarations, was not accepted, while in the case of the other riders, it was. And the Vogelsang's general conclusion was the UCI is insufficiently precise, insufficiently unambiguous, insufficiently coordinated, insufficiently effective, and overly random with respect to its formulation and application of its own anti-doping regulation and sanctions measures. That did not help Rasmussen. The ambivalence in the wording and the unclear wording of the rules had made him interpret them wrong, and that became, at the end of the day, his problem. Now, in the interview on March 2010, sports director Johnny Wells from Team Garmin stated this rather astonishing, gave this rather astonishing statement. Michael Rasmussen was removed for a case that was not a case. It was not fair, and they acted in panic. Until that year, it was quite common to cheat with the whereabouts. For many, it had no consequences. Michael's offence became so damaging for him because it was exposed in front of the entire world. Now, it is understandable, given the strict liability principle, that the obligation to self-incrimination contained in the UCI regulation, Article 185, that he did not deserve a reduction for his admission. The surprising thing was that he did not get any reduction for providing evidence that the Rabobank team management knew all along where he trained. If Rasmussen had committed an anti-doping rule violation under Article 15.3 and 15.5, then Rabobank had committed a rule violation according to the UCI's anti-doping regulations, Article 15.8. As soon as the verdict was spoken in the civil court in the Rasmussen-Rabobank case, the UCI should have brought charges against Rabobank for covering up. In light of the strict liability principle in sport, it is hard to see how Rabobank could be let off the hook if the UCI had taken the opportunity to start disciplinary proceedings. UCI could have used Rasmussen as crown witness. His evidence in the case is overwhelming, but the UCI chose not to. So the whereabouts sanction seems to be managed arbitrarily without protection of the athlete's right and in a way which collides with the ideal of a level playing field. This is the conclusion one can draw from this Rasmussen case. For the credibility of whereabouts system, three things are needed. There is a need for an introduction of a completely independent review panel consisting of riders, lawyers and athletes from other sports that the rider can appeal to when issued a recorded warning, it seems. There also seems to be a need for an introduction of a database where evaluations of written warnings are accessible for the review panel to secure that equal conditions for the athletes by the UCI is in place, and also across NADOs. Finally, I think that it should be considered to install occupational consequences for officials who violate their duty of confidentiality. The rights that the athletes has are not overwhelming, so those few rights they have should actually be taken seriously. Now his ban has expired. And it's about time for him to come back. And it seems as if a 2-year ban is not just a 2-year ban. He tried to see if there were any teams willing to sign him, and it seemed difficult. He asked the UCI directly by letter if there were any obstacles within the UCI that prevented him from coming back. And when he asked that question for the 3rd time, they eventually, and with putting pressure on the UCI by sending these information or this email by CC to Cedric Vasseur and other sports organizations. Then finally they came forward with this, saying that if he should come back, then he should remember that he had signed the riders' commitment to new cycling, and he had to provide salary, 1 year's salary, if he should come back in any capacity to the sport. This shook him a little bit. The UCI sent him this letter stating that the UCI has been informed that you were due to receive a salary of 700,000 euro from your employer Rabobank during 2007. We hope that you will demonstrate your personal integrity by adhering to your commitment and paying the amount indicated in the enclosed invoice to the Cycling Anti-Doping Foundation. We also invite you to provide us with information concerning your actually net annual salary for 2007 in the case that there is a difference from the amount indicated in the attached invoice. So basically they wanted 700,000 euros if he should come back, because he had signed this document, which he had signed or undersigned with the following statement. I, Michael Rasmussen, sign the declaration under pressure and exclusively in order to carry out my work as a professional cyclist. I do not support any of the point mentioned by the UCI in the declaration. I do support clean cycling. Even so, they thought that that he had shown his commitment by his signature to this rider's commitment and wanted him to live up to it. He still had difficulty in finding a team. His manager had a lot of contacts, so he decided to address McQuaid directly when he had been out racing with Team Michi, a small Italian team, and met with Vinogorov, who said that we actually wanted to sign you, but we were not allowed to. We were recommended by Pat McQuaid not to sign you. So